Okay, so we're going to start off and we're going to climb inside our swings. So we've got the swing to about hip height and we're going to climb inside the swing with, I think with the face facing, not the face, with the feet facing towards me, so that when we come into the next stage of the class, the sun salutation, you'll just be able to climb down. Yeah. Just make sure you can comfortably, any position that works for you. You know, some people like to come into like a fetal position, other people are more happy with that cocoon position where you bring your legs into like a diamond shape with the soles of the feet together, and then you find a comfortable space for your arms. It could be over your head if you feel like you want a bit more space, and you can have the arms over the head. Or it might be across your chest or your belly if you enjoy that more. But it's about a position that feels comfortable for you and a position that feels where you're not really making any physical effort. You're very comfortable and you can settle into this wonderful experience. We all know from, being fortunate enough to have our own swings that it's quite a transformative effect. Just climbing inside the swing, you get the suspension, you get maybe a little bit of rocking, and this begins to really communicate with the nervous system and allow you to get out of stress mode and enter the relaxation mode. So without you really having to do anything other than make yourself comfortable, your body begins to breathe more deeply. Muscles start to relax, tension is released. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing actually, just to climb inside the swing. It feels like you're receiving a very powerful hug. That's what I think. It's like you're getting a hug. So what I want you to do in the first part of the class, by the way, I mean, if you want to play music in your own space, I'm happy, whatever works for you. I'm not going to play music in the studio, but if you prefer to have a bit of music going on, then that's fine, as long as you're on mute, obviously. And then what we're going to do here is, once we got inside the swing and we can feel the swing wrapping around the back of the body, I want us to take our attention more to our breathing process. And I want you to feel how, as you breathe in, the feeling of your body against the swing, it feels like the body's pushing more into the swing when you breathe in. And then as you breathe out, there's a sense of releasing away from the swing. So I'd really like you to just tune into these changing feelings of touch, of contact between your body and the swing, because this is a way to enter this experience, to enter the present moment. And remember, this is all about you, isn't it? This is giving time, giving to you. So let's just try to find a method of really entering this little kind of mini episode of your life. So focus on the changing feelings as you breathe in and breathe out. Okay, so after this initial relaxation, I want you to just have a little stretch, move in any way that you want to do. Imagine you kind of just made a little journey and you're just waking up now. So bring yourself around, a little stretch. Maybe you want to move your wrists, move your feet, move your legs, whatever you feel just helps you to kind of start moving again. And then we're going to sit up into the swing. So from our supine position, we're just going to bring ourselves into the seat. And then I think we'll come down. So we'll just bring yourself down to the ground. You're going to have the swing behind you. And you're going to put your arms, I'm just going to take my handles off to make it a little bit less messy for you to look at. But there's no need for you to take yours off. So arms through. Swing about low shoulder blade height. Sit back into a nice chair position. Yeah, so got a nice chair position, shoulders over the hips, knees over the ankles. Yeah, and we're just going to explore a little bit of kind of movement and stillness in this opening sun salutation. So we'll start by just pushing into the feet and moving the arms up over there, stretching the body out, pulling the back of the ribs down into the swing material. Yeah. Kind of into a mountain posture. And we're going to move between this mountain posture and the chair posture. So to come back into chair, we rest the wrists against the swing material. And we just drop down, dropping the hips back into your chair position, looking straight ahead. Then as we take the next inhalation, we push into the feet, we lean back into the swing and we open the arms and we take the gaze up towards the sky or the ceiling. And then as we exhale, we drop back down into the legs, we look forwards and we come into a more heavy chair position. So what I want you to do, move between these two shapes, these two positions with your own breathing. And then let's come back and hold it. So we're going to come back into the mountain position. What we do here is just bend the elbows a little bit and drop the shoulders. Feel more like the arms are an extension of the heart. So there's a sense of opening the heart, opening the chest, and softening the arms, especially the joints, so the elbow, the shoulders, even the wrists, the fingers. And then just lean back into your swing. Turn your gaze up slightly too, so you can kind of see part of the fingers in the gaze. And then we're going to rest the hands back against the swing material, drop ourselves down into chair. What we're going to do now, take a little step back about the length of one of your feet. Do that on both sides. Slide the hands up high. Pull. Keep the arms going wide. So we're going to do like a swan dive movement. So diving forwards with the chest. And then bringing the hands in towards the side of the body. So we don't keep the hands out like wings. We bring them back in. Okay, and then from here, what you could do is just have a little roll forwards into your feet and backwards into your heels a few times. Just have a little mini move, searching for the center of your feet. And when you feel that you're approximately balanced over the middle of your feet, you can just hold the position. Pull down with the arms against the swing. So that will help you to extend through the mid-spine area. And just take the gaze straight down beneath your head. So you're not looking back through your legs, you're looking straight down at the floor. Bending the knees and pushing into the feet, coming back up to standing, taking hold of the swing. Drop down into your chair position again. If you find that if your knees are kind of shooting over your ankles, then I would just walk the feet forwards until you can re-establish a nice comfortable symmetrical chair position. I'm going to go into a little bit of sideways movement now. So we inhale, push into the feet, reach into the fingertips. And then take it from side to side. So exhale to the side, inhale center, exhale to the other side. Try to get the hips moving as well. So try and get the hips moving from side to side so you're not just pulling with your arms. Yeah, lean back into your swing. Just feel that freedom of movement. It's great to kind of have this support and to feel kind of lightness and grace that you get using the swing. Just explore that as you move with your breath. Going to come down for a little, like a mini break for your arms, so they're not constantly engaged. You come down into your chair, and then push back. Go over to your right side. Let's hold it for 5 breaths. So over to the right side. I'm sort of lifting my gaze, so I'm looking up towards my hands, but I'm not dropping the head back. So it's comfortable for my neck. I'm not struggling to hold it because I'm not dropping the head too far back. Pulling back into the swing, and I'm not forgetting the feet. I'm letting this posture come from the ground. Good. Now we're going to come back. Again, give the arms a little rest as you come down into your chair, shaping between sides, and then we're going to push back. And over to this side. That's it, lean into the swing. Also, it's a good idea to squeeze the glutes and the buttocks a little bit so you're not kind of hanging like that. So you bring the hips up in line with the ankles and the rest of the body. And then lean over to your left side, maybe soften the elbows. And we're going to come down into chair, take a little step back, so 1 foot length, reach up high, pull, keep coming through, so you dive through, and then you're going to bring your hands in, so your hands are tight to the side of the hips. I'm going to turn it into a little twist now, so let's bring the left hand down and take hold of the swing material with the right hand, so reach up like that. And then just start to twist towards your right side. Yeah? You might find it a bit helpful to bend your left knee a little bit as well, so you can maybe deepen the twist for you. we're going to come halfway back up so we can transfer arms. Left arm is going to go through. Right arm is going to come down. Take hold with the left arm and then reach across either ankle, maybe the thigh. You know, doesn't matter where, as long as you can get a nice assistance to your twisting motion. So this time we're twisting to the left. Maybe you can bend the right knee, see if that improves the posture for you, the stability and the ease. And then we're going to come, both arms go back through the swing. We come back up to standing, take hold of the swing and sit back into your chair. Re-establish the chair. So that usually involves walking the feet a little bit further forwards to their starting position. Now we're going to do back bends. So when you go into the back bend, if you get discomfort in your neck, you could always support the back of the head with the hands. That's one option. Another option is to just slide the hands down, keep the knees quite soft, go into like a mini back bend, and then down. Yeah, so that's the option I'm going to do. Other people, I mean, I've seen people going back with the arms like this and just going further into it. That's not a good option for me, so I'm not going to do that. But, you know, you find a good option that works for you. And we're going to go between back bends. So we're going to inhale into the back bend, and then we're going to exhale down into the chair position, making sure you really drop your tailbone, your sit bone, so you get some extension through your lumbar spine after the back bend. So you move between back bend and chair. Again, and it's the same rhythm. Try to keep moving throughout the whole cycle of your breathing. Yeah, so there's no rush. It's not about speed, it's about depth, isn't it? It's about the depth of the experience. Let's do a couple more of these back bends to chair. Then we're going to settle down into the chair position. Might just be nice to do a little sort of mini circle or a little hip sway after those back bends, because they can put a bit of pressure through your lumbar spine. So shaking out the lower back and the hips. Step it back again, as we've been doing, stepping it back. Reach up high, pull. This time we're going to go wide. So a nice wide forward bend base. And we're going to, again, swan dive forwards. Let the swing grab either the elbows, or if you feel as though you want to be a little bit lower, then you can let it come around your wrists. Maybe even go a little bit wider with your legs. It's about what is comfortable for you, what feels like a good option for you. Once you've chosen that option, we're going to do the rocking again. So we're going to rock ourselves into the toes and back into the heels a few times, with the aim of finding the center of the legs, the center of the feet. Once you feel as though you've found that, then you can hold the position. So strong legs, using the thighs, pushing into the inside and the outside of the feet, and pulling against the swing to maintain length in your spine and openness in your chest. Turn the feet slightly out, bend the knees, and push yourself back up to standing. Yeah? Now from here, if you take a strong grip, you can just lean back, jump the feet in, and maybe swing back to your plumb line. So here you are again in chair. Okay, now from chair this time, we're going to go back, send the feet a little bit wider. So I'm going to go a little bit wider with the feet. I'm going to go like this. So we're going to come like this with the arms. We're going to go from side to side, but we're doing this like windmilling of the arms. Now, if you want, you can even bend the knee that you're moving towards, if that helps you. But the leg you're moving away from wants to have good, strong contact with the ground. Yeah, so leave that with you. Just to move with your breath. Come back down to the center. Let's just jump the feet out a bit wider. So into that wide forward bend base again. We swan dive forwards again, so we get the length in the spine. So it's important we really get this lengthening of the spine. Then we're going to turn it into a twist. So from this position, bring the left hand directly underneath your face. Take the right arm up. Keep a little bend in the right elbow, so that allows the shoulder to open more freely away from you. And for me, I just keep the hand underneath my face. This is a good rotation for my body. For some of you, it might be an option to reach over and grab the outside of your right leg and rotate a little bit more. Yeah, so if that's a good option for you, if it doesn't drag your head towards your right leg, you want to keep your head in the middle, sort of lined up with your pelvis. Yeah, so if you can reach that leg without having to lean to that side, then that's probably a good option for you. Yeah, I'm going to stay like this, pulling with my right arm, pushing down with my left, pushing down into my feet. And now I'm going to come about halfway back up and swap sides. Slip that left arm through, come forwards again. Right arm comes down, left arm reaches up, micro bend in the left elbow, and then twist towards my left side. I'm going to turn the feet out and push into them as I come back up to standing, and I'm going to jump back to the plumb line. And then from here, all I'm going to do is a little bit of circling. So I'm down into that chair position again. I'm keeping the feet on the ground. I'm going to circle around, let my hips drop, pulling back into the swing a little bit with the back of the body as well, and just circling around as a final little piece of this sequence. And then I'm changing directions. Okay, and then that's the warm-up completed, so we can step back and pull ourselves back up. So we're going to go upside down. Need to pull the swing out, shake the swing out, make it sure it's not all bunched up for you. And then we're going to take a seat and we're going to invert. Now, if you prefer to invert in a different way, I'm totally fine with that. And what I'd like to do in this part of the class, because I'm sure each of you has things that you quite like to do from inversions, is leave it open to you to do what you like, and I'll ring a bell, and then it'll be time for us all to come back up and sort of rejoin the class. So you wrap your legs around. I'm I'm sure you've not forgot, Kerry, but I'll just, you did say it's been a while. So I'll just go through it in case any of you have forgotten. Cycle it down, short skirts, arms wrapped around, wrap the legs, push the swing back up so that it's on the pelvis. And then if you want to hang, if you feel like you just prefer to hang, then that's, I'm totally think you should get some time within the class to do things that you like to do. So if you want to be still, then that's perfect. If you want to move around and go through a sort of a selection of your favorite inverted postures, then this is the time to do that as well. Okay? Remember, at any time that you want to come up, it feels that you should come up, then you should respect that feeling and just come up and have a little rest in a seated position. So just if you're doing a sort of posture that you've got to do both sides, and if you just finish up what you're doing, if you're still inverting, and then we're going to come up into the seated position and join together again. So the first phase of the recovery position for me is just to come up, have the arms wrapped around, and not come too far forwards. Just come, bring the head slightly through to the front, keep the head above the heart, and just rest here for a few breaths. So the arms are not, you can't fall out. You know, the arms are going to keep you inside. And for the second part, we're going to use the straps to help us come into Paschimottanasana. So we're going to bring the feet through, the roller below the ball of the big toe. Feet through. And first stage, I like to just grab hold of the straps, so straight in front of you with the arms, straight in front. Get the straps into the elbows and pull back into almost like a Dandasana, like a staff posture. So shoulders over the hips, body like a rhine, like an L shape, basically. And then I can bend the knees a little bit and come further forwards into more the classical forward. So I'm just resting the arms. I'm not really pulling with the arms at this point. I'm just resting the arms against the straps, and the weight of the arms effectively pulls on the straps. You get a little bit of a pull, but you're not using force. You're just letting the body relax, using gravity. So take a good few breaths there. We were inverted, if you were curious, we were inverted for 2.5 minutes. If you stayed down the whole time. So that's a pretty intense experience, and it's good to come up and have a proper rest after that. So what we're going to do next is we are going to come down, and we're going to use the handles, these bottom handles, to go through a leg sequence, a lunging sequence. And it's intentionally about the legs and feeling a bit heavy and grounded after the more stimulating suspended work. So stepping on down, staying on these handles, the bottom handles. First thing we'll do, let's just take the left leg forwards and the right leg back into Parshvottanasana. So basically, it's like a walking pace. Arms go out to the side and you extend, trying to keep the spine as straight as you can rather than sort of rounding down and losing your neck. Okay? So like a walking pace, arms straight out to the side. I mean, it's possible to go a little bit wider. If you feel like, okay, I want to be a little bit wider so I can come further down with my chest, then you could go a little bit wider. But you want to keep your heels down. Keep bringing that right hip forwards. Again, using the buttocks and the inner thighs. So there's a sense of like squeezing, or gently squeezing into the middle of the body. And then this tends to cause a bit of a chain reaction. Then the abdomen starts to lift and there's more of a squeezing through the core. And then by pushing down into your handles, you can get a sense of opening the top of the back and the chest. So there's a kind of branching out of the upper body that is related to the containment and squeezing in the core in the middle of the body, because that gives you the stability. Now just push into the handles with the hands there, you'll come up to standing. What we do with this next one is narrow the stance, so bring your back foot forwards a few inches as well. And then see if you can come down into a sort of a standing hip opener. How clear that is, but I've got my left foot on top of my right thigh. Left foot on top of my right thigh. And I'm sitting back, so pushing into the handles. Good morning, slow yoga. We're going to a little bit into the class, but you're more than welcome to join. I've got a microphone attached, so I can't actually speak to you, but hopefully you can hear what I'm saying. So we're just down into our leg sequence at the moment. So we've done this hip opener. Now from here, don't let the arms go wide. Push forwards, push the forearms against the straps so that you can release the back leg and come into a high lunging position. You might find that you need to step your back leg back a little bit as well, because you want to bend this left knee, bring the body down as much as you can, and then find a comfortable position for your arms. Yeah, and it might be bent, it might be sideways, it might be straight ahead. You know, only you know what feels comfortable and what is supporting you in this high lunge. Yeah? Squeeze your right thigh muscles, push back into that right heel. Try to stay over the middle of your left foot as well. So notice whether your knee is collapsing inwards. And like I said, find that comfortable position for your arms. Now we're going to drop the right knee down to the floor, come onto the front of the right foot, and start. We're going to walk the left foot forwards as well. So the idea with this is we can drop the hips a bit lower to the floor. So the hips and the sit bones, they start to move downwards. And then this can allow us to come into more what they call a crescent lunge. So it starts in that right foot. You push the right foot into the floor, you push the right knee, you get the opening in the right thigh, that comes up through the belly, into the chest, and then maybe you drop the head back as well. Yeah, so try to make sure whatever you're pushing into the floor, you're doing it, you strongly push into the floor with the back leg. And then the arms are more about, they're like stabilizers on a child's bike, aren't they? They help you to kind of maintain a lift through the upper body and more of a steadiness in the posture if you can. Okay, now come forwards again. What we're going to do is we're going to bring this left foot back, come onto the heel, and we're going to sit back like this. I'm basically sitting back. And then I'm going to come into slight forward fold. Now, some of you might find this a bit restrictive. You might kind of feel like, oh, I wish I could let go of the swing and just, maybe grab my foot. But I don't want you to let go of the swing because the idea is we're in connection with the swing. We're doing this because of the swing. So sometimes if if it means that you're not having the maximum stretch, that's not an issue. Is there something very, I think, psychologically important about keeping some kind of contact with the swing? So you just come as far as the swing will allow you, and then hold the position. Yeah, hold the position using the arms to stabilize. Careful as you come up. So you're going to rise up. And we're going to come into like a high lunge position with a twist. So before we come into the high lunge, we take the right arm and we grab the second handle on the left side. So you're now using both of your arms over to your left side now. Tuck the back toes up, lift into your high lunge, and then just come into a little twist there, yeah? So you might rest your head against your arm. Some of you might bring your arm a bit further through. It's possible the handles are maybe a bit too high for that. So probably have the arm forwards of the head. And then get as much rotation into your spine as you can. So again, get that squeeze happening in the buttocks, in the abdomen, in the core. That will then extend down your back leg. So your back leg will start to activate. Then you're going to get some more rotation in the chest. So rather than trying to lead it from the chest, lead it from the center of the body. Get the little squeeze going. And let it follow from there. Now down, dragon lunge. So we come back to the third handles again and we walk in this left foot out to the side, a good few inches. And then we're coming down and doing a little lunge towards the inside like that. Yeah. Now again, you might, in a normal class, you might come a little bit deeper into this, but I want you to actually just keep using the swing and come to wherever you can. This knee wants to stay in line with the hip, so you want to avoid the knee coming with you as you go over to the side. Good. And we're going to come back, gingerly bring that front leg back in. We're going to swap sides, so we're going to step it back and have the right leg forwards, left leg back into Parshvattanasana. So like a walking pace, extending into the spine, pushing down into the hands. That's it, pushing down into the rollers. And also just notice whether your elbows are rolling back. So sometimes there's a tendency for that to happen with the arms. You want to push the elbows or the upper arms so that they are directly over the wrist. There's not this happening. And as soon as you get that alignment, you will really feel a difference in your upper body. You really feel that extending between your shoulder blades. Now come up, walk the feet a little bit closer together so that you can sit down comfortably, and then bring the right foot on top of the left thigh and sit back. I just want to emphasize, I could do this without the swing. I could do normal yoga. What I'm saying is, you don't sit so far back that if you want to hold in the swing, you'd fall over. Yeah, so you're into the heel, but you're not just kind of hanging out. You are like active in it. Yeah, so the weight's in the heel, but you're not leaning too far back. And then you can get a nice hip opener from here, your left, your right hip. That's good. Now take the arms forwards, lean into, again, don't let the arms go wide. Keep the hands underneath the shoulders, and you can lean forwards with stability. You can release the leg, step a little bit further back, and you've got your high lunge in position. That's it, you're into your high lunge. Find a nice position for you, for the arms that works. That's it. Again, let's get into the core. Squeeze the buttocks, then you get a chain reaction moving down into your left heel and up through your core, and then into your chest, your upper back. Bring the left knee down. Walk the feet further away from each other. And this is the beginning of your crescent lunge, and then you can begin to cycle the arms back, drop the head back. Take the gaze up towards the ceiling, push down into the ground. Basically, whatever you can feel with your feet and your hands right now, push into that, push against that. Perfect. And then we're going to come back. So we have to just draw this right leg back, come onto the right heel, and then sit back. Sit back onto the left. So I'm sitting on the left heel, right leg extended in front of me. And then I'm going to reach my chest a bit further forwards. And this one, you almost want to feel as though you're trying to pull the right leg back towards you. So pull the heel back towards your body on your right side. Now come forwards, Again, so we're going to prepare for the high lunge. We want to walk the foot a little bit further forward, the right foot. Bring the left arm underneath. Take hold of the second handle. Now, if this is not comfortable for you, take hold of the strap instead. You know, don't strain by obsessing with it having to be handled. It could also be strapped. Lift up, push back, squeeze those left thigh muscles. Let that squeeze continue up into the buttocks and then into the abdomen and the sides. That's it. And then you've got your rotation. Look into your right side. Dropping down onto your left knee again, returning to the bottom handles that we've mainly been using. Walk the right foot out to the side, a good sort of 6 to 8 inches. And then bring the body to the inside of the right leg and slightly over to the left side. Okay, we're going to come up now, nice and slowly. We're going to do a little bit of upper body work, and then we'll move into a back bend. So we come up, march out your leg. You feel a bit tender in the hip after that. Shake it out. What we're going to do now, let's just do triangle using the swing to assist us. So a bit more side body work. So what I want to do is, I'm standing with the swing directly behind me. What I think I'm going to do is just shuffle a little bit over to my left side. So now I'm more in front of the left side of the swing rather than being in the middle. I'm then going to take this long strap on my left side. I'm going to step into a wide base, left toes facing out, and I'm going to reach out with my left side like this. Now, I'm keeping the shoulder and the wrist in line. It's not like this. It's not like this. There's an alignment there. I'm side on, could leave it like this, or it might be nice to reach up and grab either material or strap on the opposite side. So you've got something to pull that really helps to open across here, really helps to open the chest. So if that's okay with you, find something to grab hold of. Try to stay as side on as possible. So have a little look down your body. And then let's just come into a triangle that we can hold. So not a triangle that's so intense that we have to stop breathing. You know, we've gone for all form and no function, haven't we? So don't go too wide with your legs. Struggling for breath, come up a little bit higher. You know, don't come so low down. There's always little small adjustments, relatively small adjustments you can make if you've gone to a slightly too intense version of a posture. Excellent. Okay, so come up, and before we do the other side, let's shuffle over to this side. So we've got the swing behind us. Go wide. Reach out, get your length. That's your length. So at this point, you can say, okay, this is good. I could hold this for a while. I'm not overdoing it, not overstretching. And I'm going to reach back. And I'm going to use this handle to get a nice opening through the chest area. So that's going to be my triangle. Take a little glance down the body just to make sure. Often people have a tendency to sort of drop that back hip forwards. So just make sure that's not happening for you if you can. And then breathe deeply. Position like this. Open the chest. Using the arms to open the chest, open the lungs. It's a real invitation, isn't it, to breathe fully. Perfect. So we've come up. We'll now try to do revolved triangle position, a little bit trickier. What we're going to do is we're going to start with, we want to stand with the swing directly behind us. Yeah, don't go over to the side this time. So directly behind us. We're probably not going to go so wide with your feet. Turn to your left. And I would start with that walking pace, a little bit like Parsvottanasana legs, not too wide, like a nice, decent striding pace between your feet. Yeah? Take the long strap that is closest to you in your right hand. With your right hand, you're going to reach forward. Now, it might be strap, some of you it might be handle. You're going to reach forwards. You're facing towards your left side at the moment. Your left leg is leading, yeah, and you're facing towards your left side. And then you're going to reach back, grab the swing, and rotate. So it's like a revolved triangle position. Rotate towards your left leg. And when you're doing this one, it's quite common to start leaning over towards your left side. So notice where the weight is in your left foot and try to bring it over the center of the left foot. Slowly come back, give you a gripping arm chance to rest after that. Turn into the right side, so again that walking pace. Take the longest strap, this time with your left hand. Yeah? So you're going to lead this time with your left hand. And you're going to reach back and grab with the right hand. Now, if you prefer to hold a strap, it is kind of nicer to have a kind of handle to pull against. Maybe if you just move forward slightly, then you'll be able to grab a handle, that back hand. And then you're just going to rotate towards your right leg this time. Good. Okay, so we'll come back. We're going to do something to open the pecs, the chest area now, before we do the back. That was nice to prepare that area. What we need to try and do is use your second handles through to your elbow area, to the inside of your elbow. And we're going to take the arms. So we're not going to have the arms like this. We're going to have the arms going straight back, what I call chicken wings. Don't know how yoga that is, but that's what they remind me of. Yeah? Grasshopper legs, maybe. Whatever. chicken wings, grasshopper legs. The point to watch out for here is when we move forward. So when we move away from the plumb line, we're going to get a lot more force opening this chest and pulling on the shoulder joints. So if you're new to this, what I would suggest is don't move away from the plumb line too quickly. Just kind of come down, see how it feels for you at this point before you try moving further. I mean, maybe you could do like little kind of movements like this. See how it feels for you. Those of you maybe, you know your body a bit better with the swing, then you can maybe lean a little bit further into it. It's very easy to sort of drop like this and let the head jump forward. You really want to try and keep a decent alignment. Sometimes I just keep my knees bent and work on not dropping the pelvis and the belly forward as much as I can. Yeah? And then I'm feeling that really quite deep into my chest area, pecs, a little bit into the deltoid there. And I'm going to do a little bit of freestyling so I can get more out of the stretch. I might also I'll move the arms back a little bit. I'm just searching for what feels as though it's opening and stretching my chest area. Remember, this can get quite tight, kind of when people sit down a lot. And there tends to be a lot of tightness in the top of the chest and the back. So it's a nice area to be able to get into as long as you can do it appropriately for you or for your clients. Don't know how to describe that. Dancing. So now we're going to go into a back bend, isn't it? It's a nice back bend. We've already opened this area, which is great. Take a seat in the back bend. If you're working with straps, then put the straps on over the ball of the big toe. And what I'd like to do, the same thing that we did for the inversions, is just leave you to it. I'm sure that you have you have back bends that you quite like to do. You might want to be still in one for a long time, or you might want to move through a few different ones. I'm going to leave you to it, and then I'm going to ring the bell again after a couple of minutes, and we'll all come up and join together. But you remember that you can come up at any time. 2 minutes is quite a long time to be in a back bend, I think, from a suspended back bend. So remember, you can come and rest at any time you wish. finishing up what you're doing, if you're still down there in the back bend, and then bringing yourself back up slowly into the seat, tucking your chin, bending your knees as you come up. Okay, and then if you've got the handles on, don't worry if you haven't, but if you've got the handles on, I want to come into bird on a wire. So you bring the straps to the inside of the legs, and then you're wearing the straps almost like braces. So they're coming from the chest to the inside of the thighs, yeah. So there's no danger you could fall. You can just have a little lean into them with your chest. So like the first stage of recovering from, again, you know, in some respects, these inversions and these back bends are they're like cheating physically, because you couldn't get that kind of depth ordinarily. Yeah, so it's like, it's important to have some time to recover after that. Physically, but also energetically, you're getting a kind of such a surge of prana and energetic opening, because your back bend is gravity assisted rather than working against gravity or working with gravity. So I think it's important to kind of put a cap on it afterwards and have a bit of time to just come down and rest. So bird on a wire is the first stage, and then we're going to do tortoise posture. So we open the knees, push the elbows against the inner thigh, so slightly higher than I've got the knee joint, slightly higher up the thigh. And the point we're trying to do here is the swing wants to roll your legs in. You can feel it. The swing is pushing inwards. And what happens is your knees roll inwards, and then your whole kind of posture collapses down. Yeah? So if you can just push outwards, your hips will open, you get a lifting in the chest, extension in the spine, and you can stay here. Or maybe you reach your ankles. If you can reach the ankles without strain, then you can always pull, sort of cup the heels and pull, maybe pull the chest a bit further through. Just make sure that you're not rolling the knees in. And so you are pushing out with the arms. I'm going to stay a little bit higher. Good. Now we will come off the swing again. So we take a step down. If you can lower your swing, then I want you to bring the swing down until it's just a few inches off the floor. If not, then you can do something from higher up. You can adapt some of this, or you can just rest in the swing. Or, I mean, you can come down onto the floor and just do some traditional yoga as well. That's another option if you can't lower the swing. But what I'm assuming that you can for most of you. So we're going to have the swing quite low. It's like ankle level, I would say, slightly above my ankle. And we're going to finish. Our finishing position is going to be a little bit of a variation on Shavasana. So we want to do a height test first. So we're going to have the head supported have it a little bit higher. That would be too low for what I want to do. So have it more like mid shin level. Yeah. And because we're entering the finishing, so the restorative part, I don't want you to have to get up and down again. So what I want to just check that this is going to be the right height for you, so you don't have to get up halfway through and change it all around. The right height for you is going to be where you're able to wrap your legs around and come into shoulder stand comfortably. Yeah. So wrapping the legs around, I'm into shoulder stand. I could hold this position for a long time because it's not too intense. You know, it's quite mild for me. I'm comfortable here. If that's you, then you can proceed. You know, it's the right height for you, and we can go into this final sequence. What we want to do at the end of the class is we want to do a little bit of resettling. So when we are in the swing at the beginning and we're rocking and we're supporting and we're suspended, it begins to settle the nervous system. It begins to produce mood lifting hormones like oxytocin, serotonin. So we want to do a similar thing at the end of our yoga session. We want to just kind of smooth things out and resettle. So we're going to use rocking, and we're going to use massage and touch again from a lower setting. So we want to come into this position and bring yourself down into a bridge. So the shoulders are going to come down. And we're going to do this with the legs, like a diamond-shaped leg, but inside the swing. So I've got the diamond-shaped legs inside the swing. Whatever works for you. Some people like to do like a cactus arms with their arms. So they have the arms like this, sort of over there, like a sort of surrender position with the arms. Or you can just have them a bit lower down if that's more comfortable. Yeah. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use that rocking. So we're going to start to rock the hips from side to side. If you prefer to be still, you know, if you don't want to rock, then that's perfectly fine with me. Stay still. I have to say, the rocking motion is such a powerful trigger for the relaxation response. That it's a great, it's like a superpower of the swing. You know, consider what we're doing now. It's just not physically possible, is it? It's not going to happen without a third party being involved. So it's like something you can only do for yourself physically because you have the swing. Now we can, as a counter pose, we're going to do like legs up the wall. So we're just going to extend the legs straight up. So we become a counter stretch for the spine. Now we're going to try and do long bridge. So I want you to try and extend your legs, straighten your legs inside the swing material. If you hold your side of the swing, push forwards until your legs are extended. I would probably have the heels, well, try either way. Try heels in, try heels out, which feels best for you. One thing you have to be careful here is that you're not lifting so into too much of an arch. So if you find that this solar plexus area and these more sort of mobile ribs are lifting up like this, you're likely to be feeling a tightness in your lumbar spine because you're overarching, your pelvis is tilting too far forwards for you. So what I would suggest is coming back and pushing the swing a little bit lower so it's going across the top of the buttocks rather than gripping the pelvic bone. And then you might find that there's less arching in the solar plexus area and it's more comfortable for you. That might not be an issue for you, but if you are feeling discomfort in your lower back, then that's something to consider doing. Once we're comfortable, we can incorporate the rocking, the mobilization, the movement. And then we'll counterpose with the legs up the wall posture. Now, if you've moved the swing down, you need to pull it back up so it's across your pelvic bone. Then there's no danger that you're going to fall out. You do this. I want us to drop down into diamond legs again. So the soles of the feet together, swing in a comfortable position for you. You just want to bring your left leg through and across to your right side so that your hip joints are now on top of each other rather than side by side. Yeah, and then I'll leave this with you. Maybe you like the movement, maybe you like the rocking. In this, it'll be a smaller rock. Or maybe you prefer to be still, maybe you want to extend the left leg across into a deeper twist. I'll leave it with you. And then I'm going to transition over to the other side. Now I'm going to come back up to a seated position slowly. So you bring yourself up nice and slowly and just come through the swing into this seated position. Now you've had the neck into that forward bend for a while, so maybe you want to just move the neck around into a little back bend, forward bend, side to side, just to reset. Yeah, and then this is a bit like the tortoise position, isn't it? You could come, maybe you could hold it, maybe you want to do a little bit of sort of a roll across the back of the hips. And we're going to finish with Paschimottanasana, not Paschimottanasana, with Shavasana, so corpse pose. But the swing is going to lift the head into a forward bend again. If you're okay with that, then you can try it for yourself. So you take the swing. Let me just demonstrate first. So when you're in it, it's going to lift your head a little bit off the floor, but it's probably going to feel okay for you. If you don't like the feeling, then you could just support the feet and have the head on the floor, so that the neck would be a bit more of a neutral position if you did it this way. But generally, having the head lifted and the pressure going through the ears and the back of the neck Again, that's another thing that tends to trigger relaxation for people. So maybe try that one first. You wear it like a band across the ears and the top of the neck. Yeah, so you take the position that is that you are comfortable in. It's about your comfort, isn't it? As we said at the beginning, this is your time to put in, time for you. So you want to pick a position that is comfortable. Probably can't hear me, but if you again, we're going to take this for a few minutes and then we are going to, you'll hear the bell and that's a sign to emerge from this position. Yeah? So you make yourself comfortable and spend a little time here. In your own time, without rushing, just begin to bring yourself around from that. Make any movements that you want to move, that you want to make at your own pace. And if you're in the Shavasana, just roll over there onto your right-hand side before coming up. Take your time, no rush. No rush. Once you are up, you can come up to seated, either free of the swing, or sometimes I just wear it like this because it helps to, it's just quite a nice back support really for seating, just having it around like we did in that chair position. Yes, so I think we'll do 3 Oms and a Shanti at the end, so remember it's yoga at the end of the class, just to seal it. It's very important to seal it, isn't it? When we're doing the yoga, it's much more than just a physical practice, you know, really. So it's important to just do something at the end, put a cap on it. This has been about you, hasn't it? This has been your time, putting something into you rather than constantly giving out. Yeah, so it's important we just recognize that at the end in a little, almost like a little miniature ceremony. So once you got into your nice little seated position, bring your hands into prayer posture. Take a deep breath. We're going to say Om, 3 Oms, and then Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. I can't hear you. Nobody can hear you. Nobody cares. Let's just do this together. Okay, so deep breath. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And now you've been invisible and you've lost your voice. Now you're going to come back. I'm going to see you again and give you back your voice. That's the reason we want to do the yoga. Let's make ourselves visible and get our voices back.